What's happening, everybody? This is Todd Wilson. Another episode of Elevate Your Game. Today, our guest is head coach Tait of Heritage Christian School.
Hi guys, how are you?
Welcome. We're here for the Core Prep Fall Classic event. Heritage Christian's matched up against Harvard Westlake. Good preseason matchup. Gives some competitive greatness out there with
Good
the
way
team.
to end the fall league.
Absolutely, in preparation for the season. We start every show off with the question: when did you fall in love with basketball?
Fifth grade. Fifth grade, school had a little team that was put together, and I'd watched my dad play in city leagues and everything else, and just kind of fell in love with it in fifth grade.
Awesome. How do you connect with how you fell in love with it? Just going into the league and your dad kind of keeping you around it. How do you connect that back with the kids and their passion for the game in this new generation?
Well, I think basketball for me personally has given me just about everything in life. Obviously, God's opened and closed doors because of it, but I've been able to travel the country. I've been able to meet some incredible people. I make a living doing it now, and it all started just with the love of going and playing basketball. And so I think everything is so sensationalized with podcasts and Instagram and everything else, and it's great because it helps our world connect more. But I think this pressure that kids put on themselves to be great right away, just get back to why you love playing the game, first of all, and then the rest kind of happens naturally. So
Absolutely, and I see you do that in your coaching, the way you connect with the kids. You're building something from the ground up that you have here, and I've seen you do it in almost every area of your life, and I think the kids see that and they grow that. And as we're doing this show, one of our first players is behind the camera,
Right.
like helping us producing this still around the program is just an example of what you've done with your program, and not only in the basketball side, but developing young men that are being successful and driven by what their passion is as well. So just always seen that from the distance from you. So
yeah, I think from your time being with us on staff to even now today with the coaches we have, we realize the 1% of the 1% are going to go play in college, and anything beyond that is awesome, and that's super great for some of those guys. But the bigger life lessons, showing up on time, tucking in your jersey, things like that, they don't seem like a lot right now. But what we're hopefully instilling in these guys is, man, someday you're going to have to work a job. Someday you're going to want to start a company. Someday you're going to want to build something, a family, whatever it may be. And so the lessons learned through this process are way, way bigger than basketball. That's one of our second season terms, bigger than basketball.
Bigger than basketball. The next question is that this season, what are you looking forward to the most with this current team?
Well, I think obviously COVID, for a lot of different reasons, derailed our lives in different ways. And it felt good to have a relatively normal summer, let the kids go and play on the AAU circuit in July, develop an off-season plan in August, and really not have any shutdowns and just build with some momentum moving forward. Last fall there was stop and starts and everything else. Kind of had a feeling going into the season even that something was around the corner with whatever version of COVID we were on at that point when teams got to shut down in December. And so I think there's just a lot of momentum moving forward, not only here in our program, but talking to other colleagues and whatnot. And then personally for us, we're super excited to go to Alaska, playing the Alaska Airlines Classic. And so again, basketball's provided us to go a lot of places, and this year we're fortunate enough we'll head to DC one week and Alaska the next week. So
a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good experience for the kids, and like you said, basketball takes you places you never thought you'd be able to go
For sure.
for. So that's awesome. The next question is, we always tell our players, like you said, from last year, developing and kind of recreating themselves and growing. You as a coach, what have you developed over this off season that you were going to implement into coaching?
What skill? Basketball?
Basketball or personally, whatever it is.
I think on the court, I say it all the time to guys like you and core and what it does for kids. Kids are more skilled now than they've ever been before. But sometimes the kids are a little overloaded. And so talking to one of our freshman kids, a core alum, the other day is sometimes, man, the simple move is the first move. And so what we've kind of gone back to a little bit in the fall was just catch and shoot. Like, we got to be able to catch and shoot. And then when you've got someone like a Malik Moore last year, or a Barrington Hargrass, or some of these other talented, Brady Dunlap, who we're going up against today, watching Dusty just now, they didn't skip steps. They knew how to catch and shoot. They were totally skilled coming out of 8th grade at core, plug for them. And then going into high school, they're the small fish again in a big pond. And so they had to learn to play defense, to catch and shoot, and kind of get back to it. So for us, with a young team, that was a big emphasis. I think the second part of it is just for me personally, speaking about how we're trying to connect basketball in a lot of different ways, and just talking to our athletic director about it this offseason, is not being so transactional. Be more relational with our guys. Sometimes these kids are only in your program for a year, sometimes they're here for 4 years. And having that relationship with them, letting them into your family a little bit. My wife and I, when we got married last year, her being involved with the team more, sitting up at the scorer's table, just whether it's a family type dinner with the whole team. We took them to a Color Me Mine ceramics thing a few weeks ago. Some of the overnight trips, they're all going to the football game tonight, and just getting back to even pre-COVID of being a little more relational and not so transactional, having a relationship with our guys, and just growing that. Because again, they're not all going to go play in college or pro, but they're all going to be men and men of substance and have families, and to let them know we're there for them outside of basketball.
100%. I think that carries over into their life, like you said, after they leave, and just being able to show them what investing into someone looks like for them to do it later on. So the next question is, we call it My Rushmore. Is your Mount Rushmore your top 4 coaches of all time, regardless of sport, level, anything? Your top 4 coaches.
My top 4 coaches, Phil Jackson, John Wooden. I think just because it was basketball and they're so successful, but they also, having read their books and whatnot and kind of their approach to the game, I think so many of us coaches try and mimic what they do. Outside of basketball, I'm fascinated by the Nick Saban and the Bill Belichick. Again, obviously super successful in their own sport, but I think having guys that can command the attention and the detail of so many superstars, I don't have the answers. I try and read their articles, read their books, and it's fascinating to me how they connect with players. I know you said 4, but I also think Popovich back in the basketball world is another one. And now in this next generation, you're seeing Mike Tomlin for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Steve Kerr, and so it's hard to narrow it down to 4. But
we're doing more of a Knights of a Round coaches. Besides Mount Rushmore, but no, that's great. I think all of them, like you said, they speak to developing character.
Right,
is the key to all that. They're invested into their players' mentorship and leadership, and that's what we try to reflect as coaches in our game and stuff. So the next question is, if you can describe Heritage basketball in one word or short phrase, what would it be?
In general, or this year? This week? Today, youthful. Take that for the good and the bad, if you will. I think we have a young team. I think our juniors and seniors, there's some skill there, but for one reason or another, through injury, circumstances in life, they don't have a ton of minutes, maybe 1 or 2 of them. And then you've got a group of sophomores that I think is really, really talented, and a couple stars in there that they're going to have great moments this year, and they're going to have moments that they struggle. And so the youthfulness of our team will serve us well in certain moments, and we'll be trying at other moments, but it'll be an exciting process to see them. So youthful.
Yes, no, I like that. Youthful. It's exciting to see, and seeing how they develop and who they develop into, and using basketball as a tool to see that, but ultimately it's life once again, how they persevere through this season because of the lack of in-game varsity experience. Tonight's going to be one of those examples we're going to see how they respond to it. So that's awesome. And this is the Tark question of the day. Tark couldn't be here.
Okay.
The MLS finals or something crazy like that he does. So this is the question that he had. It's who's the best local high school player that you've watched or played against or not looking forward to play against?
Right now?
Right now. Current.
The best high school player right now in Southern California.
Southern California.
Man, I just was downstairs watching Caleb Foster and Dusty Stromer, so they're definitely up there. Brady Dunlap is definitely up there. Man, that's a great question. I'd probably have to go with Dusty right now. I think because of his size, his basketball IQ, his ability to stretch the floor, having played against them last year, and he had been with them last year, who's now at Creighton. But Dusty's just different. And again, Brady has a lot of those same qualities. I think it's a push a little bit, but probably give the edge to Dusty. So, it'd probably be my one guy he's fun to watch.
No, absolutely. That's been the common answer today, actually, Dusty. And I think along with that is just his athleticism and his humility. You know, he's coming in with 2 other pretty much 5-star prospects this year, and making room for them and seeing how he adjusts with that. So I'm excited to see him. I think there's just a lot of kids in the Valley, period, in Southern California basketball that we're able to see and be a part of. And we're watching some of them in the NBA now, and in college this year, and it's pretty cool to see all that. Other than that, Coach, thank you for coming today.
Appreciate you having me.
Good luck.
Appreciate you putting on this event, and like I said, I just think it's incredible what you guys do. Not only just in basketball, but now we've started volleyball and all these other things, and football and whatnot, and baseball. So keep grinding away and teaching them young.
Thanks for your support, and have a good season.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.